right, episode 52. That means this is a year, right? 52 weeks in the year. And we are going to dive into actually understanding the structure of Egyptian language today. We're not going to learn any new glyphs, but you should still be, of course, practicing all your glyphs from last week and going all the way back to the first lesson, because that's the way to do it, is to space it out over time and not rush it. 3 glyphs a week is more than enough. And if you've been practicing them all, you know over 150 at this point. All right, so how do you read something like this? Let's start with the basics. So we talked about how ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs do not have vowels. So reading ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs as a basis would be like reading this in English. You can get through it. It can be a little difficult, but with a little work and a little patience, you can even read English without vowels. But sometimes words in English need vowels in order to understand what they mean. And the solution in ancient Egyptian is what's called the determinative. We've talked about this last week. It's a symbol that goes at the end of the word to clarify. So let me give you an example. This is the glyph per, P-R, and it is representing a house, pronounced per, but represents a house, a structure. So if you put a slash, or what's called a stroke line, at the bottom below it, it turns it from per to now being what it is. So this is no longer per, this is now a house. It's still pronounced per, because per is the word for house, but it literally means house. Now if you add a determinative at the end, so we have the determinative for movement, which we learned last week, the 2 feet. Now per, with the R, adding the extra R, this means go. Adding a determinative for movement at the end transforms it. So let me explain in English. Here is PRTY. Is this pretty? Is this petty? Is this poverty? There's a lot of different words this could be. We need a determinative to figure it out. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add a determinative to the end. So I've drawn some little balloons. And now you probably know exactly what this word is. It's party, party. That is exactly how a determinative works. It is a kind of category hint as to what the word is. It could be a broad category. So again, let's go back to English. And in fact, let's look at some just signs like this. This is a peace sign. If you saw this, you might pronounce it peace. Or if you looked at this, I, heart, you, I love you, and you know it says I love you because it's got a determinative of a cupid at the very end telling you this is about love. It's not I, pump blood through you or something like that, like the way heart does. So here are some common determinatives in Egyptian. We went over a few of them over the last 2 lessons. We did people, and we did sun, we did town, God, Pharaoh. There you can see house. Adjusting how the person uses their hands. If he's touching his mouth, it means speech. We did seat, we did motion. Here's a few new ones. There's coffin, we did heart. We haven't done incense burner or soul, or, well, we've done the board game, which is min, and we've done an ankh, which is a sandal tie. We've done the papyrus scroll. There's the Eye of Horus, and there's poop. So the ending glyph at the end of a word is usually there to tell you what category of words it is. Is it a word about motion? Is it a word about people and their occupations? Is it about a type of animal? Is it about a type of activity? So here's the glyph for fish, which we know is pronounced in, I-N. We learned this many lessons ago and how to draw it. It can be pronounced I-N, or it can also actually mean fish. The word for fish is ram. We know it means just fish and not IR if there is a stroke under it. So in this case, with putting a stroke under the glyph for fish, we are now going to pronounce this ram, not I-in, not I-N, because it actually means a fish. If we put multiple strokes, meaning 3, it now means fishes or fishs. Well, Fishes? Fish, plural fish. It's like sheep and sheep. So 3 strokes means more than one, means plural. It doesn't necessarily mean 3, it just means the plural version. And again, it transforms it from IN to now ROM. Here's the word for fish, ROM, R-M. So this actually means fish as a word. The R, the mouth, and then the M, the owl, put together, ROM. So if you see this, you're going to know this means the word fish. But to help you understand it means the word fish, you can add a determinative of a fish at the end. So this fish at the end is not pronounced in the way just a fish would be without a stroke. And in fact, it's not even pronounced rom. It's just there to remind you that the letters R and M together mean fish. It's your clue. It's what makes hieroglyphics actually easier to understand. Let's look at another example. So you've got the glyph for SN followed by N, so that's just a complementary sound, so sn, and then a person. This is the glyph for brother, sn, brother, with the SN and then the complementary sound N. Again, you have SN plus N, but this time you have the determinative of a face. Yes, that's a face. And this means kiss. So same 2 glyphs, but different determinative change the name of the word, the meaning of the word. The determinative can not only give you a category, it can change the meaning. So here are 2 examples back to back. Here you have IAW, IAW, and with an old man glyph, it means old person, elderly. But the same letter combination with someone with their hands in the air means praise. So exact same word, same letter combination, but changing the determinative glyph at the end changes the meaning of the word. And that's why it's important to understand determinatives and to know how to draw the main determinatives. So that's our first look at how to actually read ancient Egyptian. We're going to keep going on this path, and we're going to talk more about what I said were sound complements and how determinatives also continue to work. And we're going to get into structure and verb usage and all the fun stuff, because it's only going to get easier from here. Because now that you know how to draw all the glyphs, learning to read them actually falls into place. And having the determinatives is really the ultimate cheating code to understanding the words. If you like this video and this series, please do give it a like, and a subscription would be awesome too, because that tells YouTube to share this with more people. That's really what it's all about, is sharing knowledge. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your questions and comments below, and I'll see you next week for week 53, our second year of Doodling with Purpose.